Welcome guys, welcome traders and investors to the Meet Damien live stream here. We're currently looking at the price of Bitcoin right now at 92,200. We're going to do our daily, diagnostic, our daily checkup on the price of Bitcoin to see what might happen here next here for Bitcoin and crypto. And then of course I'll be going over your requests for whatever coins or stocks or commodities or whatever else you guys want to talk about today. I see that we have Jay Sharim in the chat. Jay is asking about Poet and BBAI. We'll take a look at those two requests. Lorraine says play some 80s. Oh, Lorraine, you missed the 80s music. Okay. You know what? December 8th. What is that? I believe that's today's the 4th, 5th. Next Monday, okay, we'll play 80s music for the 8th of December here, okay. All right, maybe on the 7th we'll play 70s music. Oh man, I can't play any music that's copyrighted music, Lorraine, or else I'll get a copyright claim against my video here. All right. But you can always play it in the background when you're listening to me as well. But yeah, let's get into the analysis here for Bitcoin. Bitcoin currently at $92,187 here. What I do like about what Bitcoin has done, I'll try to stay positive here. Bitcoin has got above this 21 EMA, this white line, which has acted as resistance back in November 11th and back here in October 27th, okay, and even here on November 2nd, this 21 EMA has been a problem for us. We got above it. Hopefully we're able to now use it as support. If Bitcoin was to come down back to the 21 EMA, it's sitting at 90,300. If you guys are interested in taking a long on Bitcoin, I'd probably take a long right around that area at 90,300. And put your stop loss tight, relatively tight, maybe like $1,000 below the price. Don't use too much crazy leverage, and keep your stop loss that way. For my day traders out there, I only like to lose 1% of my trading account on a stop loss. So if I was trading with a $1,000 trading account, I would only want to lose like $10 on the trade on my stop loss. And if I was using like a $2,000 account, I would only want to lose about like $20 on the trade on the stop loss. And of course, you can always scale the numbers up. If you had a $10,000 account, then you probably only want to lose about like $100 on a stop loss. Okay. But anyways, yeah, that's what I would try to do. If you're able to get some cheaper Bitcoin, try to get it around near 90K. We'll see how 90K holds up if Bitcoin decides to go to the downside here. All right. But I am expecting Bitcoin to try and make higher lows and higher highs to try and get up to higher prices here. How much higher could Bitcoin go? Okay, 95, 96K is an area that we were trading at sideways around like November 4th, 13th through the 15th here. It's also another important area that I'll show you on the VRVP indicator here that shows you why 95, 96K is kind of important. Okay, but if you're not using a VRVP indicator, and you're just using, just straight chart, maybe use some moving averages like I got right here. You can look at previous price action, and 95, 96K was an area that people were buying Bitcoin back here in April, in the beginning of May, okay? And also 95, 96K was an area that people were buying back here in like November and December of last year, as well as like January, February, early this year. There's a lot of people that bought at that area. And if they're not convinced that Bitcoin's going to go to higher prices, they might want to decide to just break even at 95, 96K and then just call it a day, call it a year, and move on to something else, okay? So I'm expecting a lot of resistance at 95, 96K if Bitcoin actually pushes its way up to that price. That's an area where I'm interested in selling some of my Bitcoin spot bags at 95, 96K. Just looking at the charts here, okay? But if I zoom out here, as I'm doing right now, and I turn on that VRVP indicator here, the VRVP indicator kind of like shows you where people were buying and selling Bitcoin, all right? And you have the green and the red. The green is how many people bought. The red is how many people sold at that price. You add them together, and then you get these big volume nodes here. Okay, let me just get rid of the moving averages for now. Clean things up here. But just looking at the VRVP indicator here, you got the highest volume node sitting at 96K. 96K is going to be a really hard area for us to get above, since we're below it right now. Okay, but if we do get above 96K, then there should be some juicier price action where Bitcoin could spike its way up to about like 102, 103K, and we got another high volume node here that kind of rivals where 96K is. It's not as high as the 96K volume node, but it's almost as high, and it's showing that, you know, Bitcoin at 105K, yeah, a good majority of people bought at 105K as well back here in like June and May, earlier in 2025, as well as like January of 2025. So those are the key levels to look for to the upside as far as I'm concerned with the VRVP indicator here. I'm looking at 96K, and I'm also looking at 105K. And I think those are some good areas to like dollar cost average out of Bitcoin if you have some. And you're ready to take profits here on Bitcoin. 96K, or, you know, 95, somewhere in that area. And then 105K to like 104K should be some areas to look for where you can sell some Bitcoin. All right. And I know some guys might be thinking Bitcoin's going to 200K or 126K all over again. And it might, okay? But those are some areas where you should, you know, consider, you know, taking some money off the table on your Bitcoin and crypto. All right, not financial advice. Okay, do whatever you want to do. I'm not your financial advisor. But in my case, I'm trying to take a little bit off the table at 96K, and I'm trying to take a little bit more off the table at 105K. And if Bitcoin decides to climb up to like 110, 120K here, I can always get back in again. Okay, I can always get back in at 105 or 110K. And then watch Bitcoin go to 120, 130K and still make money, right? You can always click the sell button and then buy back in again, okay? Don't be afraid to click that sell button, okay? Because we all know what Bitcoin can do. If you don't click the sell button, you got a lot of Bitcoin or a lot of crypto, it could drop 30% on you in 1 month or 2 months time. And then you're like, ah, crap. I could have sold at 120K, but you didn't, right? So you might get an opportunity to try to sell at those higher prices again. Is basically what I'm trying to basically what I'm trying to tell you guys here on this live stream. Okay, but there's no guarantee that Bitcoin's actually going to go up to those higher prices. So I actually sold a little bit of Bitcoin this morning at 93K, only because I saw some things on the charts, and we'll get into the smaller time frames to see like why I'm a little bit worried that we're going to go down today and go maybe, you know, going into tomorrow. All right, but let me just zoom back out again here and get the VRVP indicator showing levels to the downside. If Bitcoin starts losing, you know, 92, 93K, there is a value area low, this white line hanging out at 88K. That should be where Bitcoin would get most likely bounce. 90K, $90,000 is a psychological number, and it's also where the 21 EMA is at on the daily time frame. But like 88K is actually where a good majority of people bought Bitcoin as well. Okay, that's a value area low, another high volume node there. And then there's also below that, there's 84K all the way down to like 82K. Okay, where we saw, you know, some people take advantage of buying Bitcoin at, you know, 82, 84K. I think Bitcoin was at like $80,500 while most people were sleeping here in America. It was there at that level like at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then we woke up to like, you know, Bitcoin at like 82K. So I'm not sure if you're gonna be lucky enough to get Bitcoin at 80K again. All right, but you should be able to get some at 82 or 84K if we do go down to that level there. Okay. But if we do go down to 80K, then maybe the downtrend is still intact here on Bitcoin. And maybe we have to go visit the lows earlier this year where we saw Bitcoin at 74K, okay? But we'll take it one level at a time. Right now, the next level below us is a psychological $90,000 number. And then the level below that is 88K according to the VRVP indicator here, where a good majority of people were buying and selling around that level. And then above us, if Bitcoin does climb up, we will probably hit some resistance at 96K and then there's some resistance at 105k. All right. But let's go a little bit deeper into the charts here. I'm going to start pulling up some oscillators here. I'm going to get rid of the VRVP indicator here, pull up the moving averages, and I'll get some oscillators going on here. Okay. On the MACD for the daily time frame, we're looking okay. You know, we got buying pressure that has showed up. Obviously, November 21st was one of the worst days for Bitcoin, where it actually went down to 8,500, but then the selling pressure died off, and then we got some buying pressure showing up here. And the buying pressure is steadily increasing. So let's keep that going, because you're going to need that if you're going to want to see Bitcoin get above 100k. All right. Yeah, I don't really want to get much into it, but money flow on the daily time frame is in the green as well, and you need that to stay in the green if you're gonna see 100k as well. Okay, but let's get into like the 4-hour and the 1-hour time frame. So the 4-hour time frame, and I saw this last night, which had me a little bit concerned about Bitcoin kind of like maybe going sideways or not really going up anymore, is this red sell dot that came in at 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern time here. That could signify that Bitcoin wants to go down before it starts going back up again. So you got your red sell dot that came in this morning, probably before, before you guys woke up, or, right after you guys fell asleep, for my American viewers here. My European guys, you might have seen that earlier this morning where we had a red sell dot here on Market Cipher B. And you can see that money flow is coming down a little bit here. We want to see money flow start going back up again if we want to see higher prices here, but this could be a warning sign that we might go down to 90k or 88k on Bitcoin. At least on the 4-hour time frame, you're kind of topping out here. I want to see something like this where we topped out and money flow came down, but then money flow, went back in the green again and started increasing, and then the momentum wave started increasing. That would be nice to see. We saw that around like Monday earlier this week, going into Tuesday. Could we get something like that to kind of save our butts and continue going up to higher prices? I don't know, but I am going to be looking on the 4-hour time frame to see if a green buy dot shows up here on Market Cipher B here. Okay, so that's what I see here. Of course, money flow is now, the buying pressure is actually dying off here on the 4-hour time frame on the MACD. I'm a little bit worried. If I see this blue line cross the orange line on the MACD, then that could signify that this might have been a lower high here on Bitcoin, and we're probably going to go down to lower prices here. Okay, so just letting you guys know, don't kill the messenger. I'm just letting you guys know that on the 4-hour time frame, I'm a little bit concerned with Bitcoin right now. Okay, I want to see buying pressure continue to go up, not down. Maybe we might get like a fake out where we saw buying pressure dying down and then it starts increasing again. Okay, like we saw here on November 24th going into like November 26th. Okay, that would be good to see here. All right, also on the 4-hour time frame, if you're a moving average person, you do have the 200 moving average on the 4-hour time frame sitting at 95k. Like I said, 95, 96k should be an area where you should consider selling your Bitcoin. Just taking a little bit off the table, not financial advice, but the 200 moving average on 4-hour time frame could be a problem here, because we haven't really gotten back up to it. We haven't really been at the red line, that 200 moving average on 4-hour time frame, since like October 27th, right before Halloween, right? So that 200 moving average is, we're getting close to it, and we could get rejected at 95k here. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay, now I'll move on to the 1-hour time frame, see what the 1-hour time frame is doing on Bitcoin, and then that's going to be the smallest time frame that I go, and then I'm going to get into the requests here. Well, on the 1-hour time frame, Bitcoin is looking kind of healthy on the 1-hour time frame, staying above most of the moving averages here, and kind of creating like a bull flag. Some might identify this as a bull flag, where this is the flagpole and then this is the flag. Okay, and if you're going to continue being bullish on Bitcoin, you want to break out to the upside out of this flagpole. And if this is a flagpole, right, let me just draw it out here. If this is a bull flag, right, Then you just take the flagpole here, this measure move, you put it to like where we could break out to the upside on the flagpole, and it's showing that an upside target could be, we could see Bitcoin go up to $101,000, back above 100K here, that blue number right there. Okay, just an idea, doesn't mean that it's going to play out that way, but that's what I see here on the 1 hour time frame. If this is a bull flag and we do break out to the upside. Okay, now let's go look at the oscillators here, and you'll see here that, you know, on the MACD, we do have some selling pressure showing up here, and Bitcoin is struggling while it's pretty much flagging. We're doing that bull flag and doing that bullish consolidation here. I want to see buying pressure show up here. I want to see light pink candles on the 1 hour time frame showing that the selling pressure is dying down, and then I want to see this blue line start to curve up and actually go past the orange line to signify that there could be a reversal here and that Bitcoin wants to go up to higher prices. But right now, this orange and blue line is trending down and the selling pressure is still there. And if we don't see pink candles, we might see more dark red candles, and then, you know, you'll see selling pressure increase, and then that could be a signal that, you know, if you want to enter a scalp short, that Bitcoin might be going down to lower prices, down to like 90K or 88K here, if you're interested in taking that trade. Okay, and then as far as like market cipher B goes here on the 1 hour time frame, money flow is in the red right now. If you're bullish, you want to see it go back into the green again, but if you're bearish, money flow is in the red, and also the momentum wave is now going to the downside here. We could be setting ourselves up to go to lower prices here based on what I'm seeing on the 1 hour time frame here. Okay, so place your bets accordingly, guys, here, because Bitcoin does look like it's getting a little bit tired and it wants to take a break. It might just go sideways. For the bulls, that would be a welcome reprieve. That's better than going down, but it might also go down. Okay, and then looking here on the 1 hour time frame RSI, we are making lower highs here after making higher highs on the price. So we have bearish divergence showing up on the chart. Bitcoin might, you know, if this is a bull flag, right, this might be the lowest price you can get Bitcoin before we start going back up to the top side of this bull flag. All right, so you can still play this pattern here if you're a day trader, and buy Bitcoin now at 92,100. Put your lows below, put your stop loss below the lows earlier this morning at like 91,800. If you want to keep it that tight, or you can make it a little bit looser than that. Maybe 91,000 even is where you put your stop loss. And you're targeting the top of the pattern here on the 1 hour time frame. You're targeting like maybe like 93 or 94K, 93,800 or 94K. If this is still a bull flag that we're playing here. So if you're trying to scalp trade this and you're trying to long Bitcoin right now, I mean, right now might be a good price to get in at. We've already took a beating the last couple hours here, where we saw Bitcoin at 93,900, and now here we are at 92,000. Okay. All right, let's get into the requests here. Let me check up on the chat, see what you guys are saying. I appreciate Laureen hitting that like button. I appreciate that. We got 3,100 likes here on TikTok. Let's go, let's go. Thank you for the roses as well, Laureen. Thank you, thank you. And thank you for joining the fan club there, Laureen, on TikTok. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. You're like one of my #1 fans. I appreciate that. Yep. Let's see, Fishfinity wants to look at Solana. Let me go ahead and write these things down here. And I know Jay put a request earlier. We'll take a look at Poet. So let me go ahead and write this down. We're going to look at Poet first. Then we'll take a look at Solana. Then we'll look at BBAI. We'll come back around to that. And let's see. Let me see if there's any more requests here. Laureen wants to take a look at Tesla. Laureen, I made a short, a YouTube short and a TikTok video about Tesla. Might want to check that one out if you haven't already. I think you might have looked at it. And let's see, what else we got here. Oh, thank you, Lorraine, for spamming me on YouTube. Yep, thank you. Appreciate that. We got Big Chungus is in the live. Thank you, Big Chungus, for hitting that like button. Appreciate that. And Big Chungus is asking me, what is my opinion on QT ending and how it affects crypto? Well, my opinion so far is that it's not going to be a negative. It's going to be a positive catalyst. But what you really want to see is you want to see QT end, which it did, but then you want to see quantitative easing, QE, start. And that would really juice up the markets some more. But it's a step in the right direction, in my opinion, that the Federal Reserve did that. Alright, so let me get a swig of water here. I did a little bit of talking, a lot of talking there. And let's move on to taking a look at Poet. Look at the daily time frame here. Poet having another good day, and we were expecting Poet to have another good day. We looked at this, I believe, yesterday, where Poet was up like 28% yesterday, of course, and now it's up another 7% today. All right, congratulations for the Poet investors out there. Poet is a stock that you can trade on the NASDAQ. So this is a stock on the stock market. And we were looking at Poet on the oscillators, and you know, I saw a lot of good things about Poet yesterday. Where this thing looks like, you know, it was bottoming out here on the RSI, but also here on the MACD. You had selling pressure that was dying down, and you had buying pressure coming in. And as a momentum trader, I like seeing this when selling pressure is dying down, and then you get that MACD flip, and you get the buying pressure. It just shows me that you could ride the wave up to higher prices and make good money on a trade like that. Okay. I just got a notification that Bitcoin went below 92K. It might have happened a few minutes ago. But yeah, also on Poet here on Market Cipher B, like you had, you know, oversold conditions here where you hit the green horizontal bars. And you had a green buy dot that came in. On November 19th was a good day to try and throw your hat in the ring and try to buy some Poet on the cheap, because you had the green buy dot that showed up, and then of course momentum went to the upside, the momentum wave, this blue wave, and then you had money flow start curving back up. This is really great. As a momentum trader, I try to look for these pivot points, right, where you get a green buy dot, especially near the oversold area, and you get a curve up on the money flow to the upside. As a momentum trader, I would have loved to be entering this trade right here, so that way I can cash that upside to the upside. And had you done that on November 19th, let's get back in the chart here. All right, we said November 19th was the day to get in. And yeah, you might have went down a little bit lower here on November 21st, but then after that, you see that the price started going up, and it got above all the moving averages here. And how much further could Poet go up to, you know, to the upside? Well, let's go ahead and pull up that VRVP indicator here and see what the VRVP has to say. To the upside, you got some volume here at like $7.21, and then you got some more at $7.60 to like $7.80. So I would probably consider taking profit at like anywhere above $7, like $7.60 here. Okay. And then, of course, you got the value area high sitting at $8.22. You should definitely consider taking some profit at $8.22 here, according to the VRVP indicator. All right. So that's what I got there for Poet. I don't want to get too much into it. This thing is on its way to the upside. I don't think I need to get into downside targets. But if this thing starts, you know, reversing on you for some reason, you do have some support here at the point of control, this blue line sitting at 530, and then you also got the 200-day moving average below you at 510. So you could buy some cheaper Poet at like 510 to 530, according to what I'm seeing here on the charts. Okay. All right, moving on from Poet, let's take a look at Solana. All right. I'll get rid of the VRVP indicator for now. We're looking at Solana, currently trading at $141.94, down 1.9% today. And Solana, You know, it is below its moving averages here, the 200-day, the 100-day, and the 50-day. Being below the 200-day moving average, that makes me bearish on any asset that does that. And Solana did that here on November 3rd, so shame on you, Solana, for doing that. Now Solana has a lot of proving to do to try and go up to higher prices here. I did see on the daily time frame here that Solana did a double bottom, which is a reversal. It means that you were trending downward. However, the double bottom kind of saves your butt, and if this double bottom plays out to the upside, it should, you know, cause the price to go up. And you just measure the double bottom. We had a bottom here at $121.47 on November 21st, and then we had another bottom here at $123.08. The double bottoms have to be within 1 to 3% away from each other to qualify as a double bottom. And you just measure, if you know, to get the measure move as to how high it could go, possibly here. You just measure between where the bottoms are at to the top and between the two bottoms. You take that measured move, this yellow line here, you put it on top of the top and between the two bottoms here, and it gives us a measured move where we could see Solana get up to like $165, that blue number right there. And that kind of makes sense because that puts you right where Solana was trading at back here on like November 4th and November 5th. Early on in November, Solana was trading at that price. So that's a level that we were looking for Solana to the upside. But right now, you know, today we're getting a red candle here. Solana did top out here at $146 yesterday, as you already know. Okay, what could Solana do next year? Well, just on the daily time frame here, we want to see Solana stay above this 21 EMA. Okay, it's very good to see that it got above this 21 EMA, which is this white line here. That 21 EMA is sitting at $136. If Bitcoin has a bad day going into later on today and tomorrow, you want to see Solana hold above that 21 EMA to show you that it's acting as support and that we're not going to just lose it. Because if we lose it, then, you know, the 21 EMA ends up becoming resistance all over again. Okay, as it was kind of acting like resistance here on November 26th and November 27th. We don't want to see that. This was very positive to see. I got excited for Solana when I saw Solana make a bullish engulfing candle here on Tuesday, and then here on Wednesday it continued to follow to the upside to try to get above this 21 EMA and stay above it. But like here we are on here we are on Thursday. We're still above it, but now we're creating a little bit of a red candle here. So I want to stay above the 21 EMA. Stay above $136 on Solana, and you know, maybe you can continue to stay bullish here where we make a higher low and then we start going for higher highs here and try to get up to that $160 level, which I think 160 is going to be a problem for Solana to the upside here. All right. Tarek says you want me to look at Canyon alts going up or down? Are you asking can alts? I don't know what the question is there, Tariq. Skogman wants me to look at Grass and IO. Okay, I'll write those down. That'll come after I look at Tesla. We're gonna look at Tesla before we look at Grass. Altcoins, are they gonna go up? Well, you know, altcoins pretty much they follow the leader, and the leader is Bitcoin. So we need Bitcoin to continue going up to higher prices for the altcoins to go up. The altcoins can go up when Bitcoin is going down, only if they have something special, some news-related event happening for that specific coin. You know, something positive. But you can see, like, yeah, most of these altcoins are in the red. Looking at the watch list here, except for a few of them, like Aerodrome is in the green, and Zcash is in the green. But Zcash, it looks like Zcash is doing the opposite of whatever Bitcoin is doing at this point, because Zcash was having a bad couple of days here, actually a bad week, the last week. But I guess people taking their profits from Bitcoin and putting it into like Zcash as of now. Zcash is up about 6% right now. Yeah, Jay, we're gonna look at BBAI. That's coming up after Solana here. Yep. And then we're gonna take a look at Tesla and then Grass after that. All right, moving on. Keep the show rolling here. We're gonna look at BBAI, Big Bear AI. This is a stock that you can find on the New York Stock Exchange. Thank you for the requests. I do like looking at stocks as well. And I think these are some good stocks to get into. So far, I mean, yeah, Big Bear AI we've been looking at this stock and it has gone down from what it was doing here in October, but back here in October, this thing was trading at like $9.39. I'm gonna get rid of this parallel channel because this no longer is in play anymore. But I am gonna keep the Fibonacci. The Fibonacci I drew from $9.39 down to the lows here, where it was at like 465 on September 10th. And we got some Fibonacci numbers to look for to the upside here. Currently, Big Bear AI is trading at $6.92. It's up 13% today. So, wow. Okay, congratulations on that. What do we got here for Big Bear AI? You're getting above the 50-day moving average. That's good to see. You can start to be more bullish on this stock now that you got above that green line there on the daily time frame. And if this thing does climb up to higher prices, I'm expecting it to at least get up to this golden pocket here. These yellow and orange numbers at 757 and 772. That should be a take profit target if you're in this stock right now. Okay. I would take a little bit of profit there. You know, not financial advice, but a little bit of profit, because you just don't know if it's going to get rejected and come back down. You know, you never know what could happen in the stock market. Bad news might come in, you know, something about, you know, Nvidia affecting the AI market. There could be some bad news with Nvidia that drags AI stocks down with it, and, you know, Big Bear AI might suffer because of that. So just take a little bit of profit. Or there could be something related to Big Bear AI itself. Maybe one of their customers decides to stop buying from them and go to the competitors. Okay, so you just don't know what could cause the rejection, but you know, expect maybe a rejection at 757, 772, and then of course, you know, take a little bit more profit at 837 as we climb our way back up to like $9 here. And then once you get back up to $9, I would try to take some profit, so you know, take the rest of your profit, because you just don't know if this thing's actually going to climb up to higher prices. We could end up doing a double top at $9 here. We shall see. Okay, but if this thing does push past $9, then the next target is going to be that 1272 at $10.68. Should be an area where there could be some resistance. Okay, and then there's also the 1618 above you at $12.32. That's just using the Fibonacci. But let me go ahead and throw in the VRVP indicator here. See what the levels are looking like. And yeah, the VRVP indicator is showing that there is a value area high, kind of like right where that 618 Fibonacci is at. So even the VRVP indicator is saying that you should sell something at 755 here. Then you see like a little bit of high volume here at $8.13, which is kind of confluent with that 786 retracement. But it looks like right now the POC, which is the highest volume, is going to be a little bit hard for you to get past $7.17. That's that blue line right there, the POC, the point of control. So I think once you get to like $7 to like $7.50, it's going to be a little bit tough for Big Bear AI to continue climbing up to higher prices here. It might want to maybe start doing a bull flag when it gets to that point. Do some bullish consolidation, hopefully. But yeah, if you come up there, get rejected, and come back down, you do have some support here at $6, and then you have some more support right where the 200 moving average is at $5.28, this red line here. And this is also where the value area low is sitting at about $5.28. So you do have some protection and some support at that level there for Big Bear AI. All right, let me clean things up here. We're going to look at Tesla as another stock to take a look at here. And you know what, Jay? I might actually make a YouTube short after I just did that analysis on Big Bear AI. I might put that up as a TikTok and as a YouTube short, because it is a very interesting stock there. I already done one on Tesla, but we're going to look at Tesla right now for Lorene. All right. So I don't think much has changed with Tesla here. Tesla is up slightly today at 0.6%, trading at $449.44. And what do we got? What do we got here? What do we got? So Tesla did, you know, saw the highs for the year at like 474 and 470 here. Some people might have said that's a double top there. And usually with a double top, it's a reversal. It means that the price is done going up and it's probably going to start going down. And we saw that happen here in November for Tesla, where Tesla then came down as low as this 0.5 retracement on the Fibonacci numbers here. And kind of front run the 50-day moving average, which is this green line here, okay? Yeah, stayed above the 50-day moving average. So Tesla is acting pretty bullish, to be honest with you. This is very bullish, and then it's actually acting extremely bullish because you're now above the 21 EMA, this white line, this 21 exponential moving average on the daily time frame here. So with Tesla still being bullish and extremely bullish here, I'm expecting Tesla to try and revisit that $474 level all over again here, which was the highs. I believe that's the all-time high for Tesla, right? We've never seen Tesla higher than 474. But if Tesla's going to continue being extremely bullish and go into higher prices here, we do have the Fibonacci numbers to look for to the upside. We got the 1272 Fibonacci at 517, and then we got a 1618 at 576. We could see a $500 Tesla going into next year, guys. Okay. But first, we got to get past 474, obviously. This is probably going to be some resistance there. Okay, if we go up to 470 and actually get rejected, then, you know, the bears are going to say, uh-oh, we got a triple top, which is even worse than a double top, okay? But, yeah, a triple top would be a reversal, and if Tesla does do that, then I would expect Tesla to at least come back to the 786 at 433, and then maybe revisit the golden pocket at $410 here, if we are going to do a triple top here. By that point, the 50-day moving average might be creeping up over to the golden pocket here. This green line could be creeping up, and if we do a triple top and come back down, I think the 50-day moving average will save our butts here. Also, the golden pocket should save our butts here at like 404, 410, and then that could end up being a higher low before Tesla tries to revisit 470 all over again. Okay, but that's just an idea. Let's see how healthy Tesla looks like right now, looking at the oscillators here. On Market Cipher B, you had a green buy dot here on November 24th saying that, hey, you should get into Tesla because there's going to be some probably good days ahead of you. Money flow also was going up to the upside here, and you got some green showing up here on money flow. So Tesla might not be done going up. It might actually be trying to climb up to 470 or maybe even $500 later on this month and going into next month. And I think one of the positive catalysts that could help Tesla go up to higher prices here is the Federal Reserve is lowering interest rates. They're probably going to lower interest rates next week on December 10th here. And we had a bad jobs report yesterday. So, you know, the Federal Reserve is going to try to prevent Americans from losing their jobs by lowering interest rates here. So we might actually get another interest rate cut in January, okay? And with those interest rate cuts, that's good for Tesla because Tesla's in the business of selling cars, and a lot of their customers take out auto loans for those cars. So that means cheaper auto loans for people, and you'll see probably more people buying Teslas if that's the case. And here on the MACD, you see selling pressure has died off, and you got that MACD flip. Buying pressure is now in there, and it's steadily increasing. So Tesla might be a winner going into later on this month, going into the beginning of 2026. Okay, so I like what I'm seeing here with Tesla. Just to sum up my thoughts here. All right, moving on from Tesla, we're going to take a look at Grass, and then we'll take a look at IO. So Grass is a cryptocurrency that you could find here on Kraken exchange. That's the exchange that I'm going to get the data off of. And Grass is currently trading just under 31 pennies. It's at 0.3098 pennies, down 2% here on Kraken Exchange. Let me just zoom out so people can have an idea of like what Kraken has done. Looks like, what Grass has done. Grass started trading on Kraken Exchange here on January earlier this year in 2025. Seen like some of the highest prices here when it got to like $2.77 on March earlier this year. Then kind of like almost like a double top here where it got to like $2.60 in May, and then that was it. And since then, it's been disappointing a lot of cryptocurrency investors since then. Let me get rid of this previous chart work. And Grass is now below almost all its moving averages. Yeah, it is, because you have the 200-day moving average, which just started showing up here in August. You're below that, you're below the 100-day, you're below the 50-day, and this 21 EMA, this white line, has been acting as resistance every time you get up to it. You end up losing it at some point. But as I start to zoom in, it looks like Grass trying to put up a little bit of a fight here towards the middle of November, where we actually got up past the 21 EMA. We came up to the 50-day moving average, and that's where we got rejected, okay? And once you got rejected hard, okay? Ugh. Alright, and now, here we are, we're back below the 21 EMA. And this 21 EMA is going to act as like a lid, preventing you from going up to higher prices until it actually does let you go up to higher prices, okay? So right now, I'm not expecting a lot out of Grass right now. If it does go up to higher prices, 34 cents is where that 21 EMA is at. That's about as high as you're going to go. You might go up a little bit. You might peek your head above it and go to like 36, maybe even 40 cents. And then come back down below the 21 EMA. Okay? Well, this 21 EMA could be a problem for now. Until it's not. And then when it's not, then there's that you could get that upside out of nowhere where you could go back up to that 50-day moving average. That 50-day moving average is sitting at 57 cents. That is your upside target. If you see 57 cents, or anything above 50 cents here on Grass, click that sell button. I'm not sure what you're doing here. If you're doing a day trade, or a swing trade here, but if you're doing a leverage trade, definitely take your profits. Okay, because you could get something just like this where you come right back down again. Okay, after heading up to the 50-day moving average, okay? And if you're in it for a swing trade and you're not doing any leverage trading, then you should consider offloading some of your spot bags at that 50-day moving average to the upside there. Well, let's see. Grass is kind of trying to make higher lows than what it did here on November 16th. That could be the beginning of possibly reversing the downtrend here. Let's see how it looks on the oscillators here. Are we getting some bullish divergence? Maybe. You are starting to make some higher lows here on the RSI after you're making lower lows here on the price. So you got a little bit of bullish divergence showing up. It's showing that buyers are stepping up to buy at these low prices at 30 cents. Have we ever been this low on Grass? I don't think so. Yeah, we're near like the lows for the year. Hopefully this is as low as it gets for Grass. You have seen the lowest lows at like 18 cents on October 10th when we had that big liquidation event when Donald Trump was threatening to do 100% tariffs on China and totally destroyed the altcoin market around that time. Hopefully you never go that low, but if you do, if we start losing 30 cents or we start losing like 26 cents, then we might end up coming back down to like 18 cents as your downside target here for Grass. Goldman saying higher low. Yeah, I do see that on the daily time frame. It could be a possible higher low. Just don't go lower than what you did here on November 16th. Don't go lower than 26 cents and you can still qualify as a higher low. And hopefully start making your way up to making a higher high at some point. But you got to get above what, 65 cents to make a higher high. But maybe Grass is bottoming out here. Cameron's in the chat. Good to see you, Cameron. Good afternoon to you as well, Cameron. Let's go ahead and take a look at IO now. I believe that's IO net is what you want to look at. IO currently trading at 20 cents here, up about, down 3.7%. I'm looking at this thing for the first time here, and let's just zoom out. It looks like just like all the other altcoins in 2025, where the best time to sell these altcoins was the beginning of the year in 2025, or even like December of 2024. Yikes, this thing was as high as like $4.80. Wow. And now you got 20 cents. So it's looking disappointing, like a lot of other altcoins here. I guess at this point you're just wondering, is it done going down, or is it going to continue going down? Are we bottoming out here on IO? Because just like grass, you're below all the moving averages here. And this white line, this 21 EMA, is going to be your first line that you need to get above in order to start creating a bullish case here. At 21 EMA, sitting at 23 cents is about as high as you could get before you might get rejected again on IO. So if you're looking to short it, you know, you can wait until you get to 23, 24 cents here and then try to enter a short. But I don't know how juicy of a short this is going to be. You are near the lows for the year. I mean, I don't know, you could probably short it down to 10 cents maybe. But, you know, shorts have been playing out so far all throughout this year. But if you're trying to long this thing, I mean, you're going to see if this thing can get back up to that 50-day moving average at 41 cents. 41.5 cents is your target for now, if this thing does do a spike up. And every now and then it does do a spike up, like you saw like here on the September 15th, where we spiked up past the 50-day moving average, and then we went all the way up to the 200-day moving average. That 200-day moving average will act as a resistance as well, okay? But yeah, this is very bearish. You know, if I flip the chart upside down, I'd be like, oh my god, this thing is so damn bullish. It's so extremely bullish. Like, look at this. This thing is above the 200, above the 100, above the 50, and above the 21 EMA. This thing is extremely bullish. But that's not the case, because this is the reality right here. This thing is extremely bearish. Okay? But, I mean, is there going to be a possible reversal here? We're going to have to look at the oscillators to see if there's any hope here. On the RSI, could be a possible higher low here. Okay. After making lower lows here on price, you do have a little bit of bullish divergence that could possibly play out here. But you got to start catching some bids here, right? You got to see like maybe some buying pressure showing up. Lately, there hasn't been that much selling pressure. Not like you saw back here in October, where there was definitely a lot of selling pressure, but the selling pressure died down and you got buying pressure, a little bit of selling pressure here when Bitcoin dropped to 80K, but now you're getting a little bit of buying pressure showing up. But you need more buying pressure. You need more buyers to show up on IO to get this thing to start reversing here. On market cipher B, money flow is still in the red on the daily time frame here. Every now and then you get hints and slivers of green, but it's very weak sauce. Okay, very weak. All right. What I want to see here with IO, just to game plan things out, is I want to see you get above that 21 EMA. Okay, get above the 21 EMA. Actually show that you're actually getting above that white line there. And maybe you don't actually go up to the 50-day moving average. Maybe you kind of top out here, come right back down to the 21 EMA, but use it as support instead of resistance. You start seeing that, you make a higher low, and you go up to higher prices, then you know, hey, for damn sure, like this thing is now starting to bottom out. Because you're not making lower lows anymore, you're making a higher low, and you also got above the 21 EMA. That's what I want to see for IO. And then of course, you know, maybe you start going up to higher prices, you get up to that, you know, 50-day moving average, that green line there. Maybe you get that rejection again, make another higher high, and hopefully you don't drop lower than what you did here, and then start making another higher low. And guess what you got going on there? You got an uptrend. You got higher lows and higher highs. That's what you want to see if this thing is going to start bottoming out here on IO. Okay, that would be the most positive bullish thing you could see here for IO. Okay, just an idea, but that's what you want to need to see in order for you to start putting more money to work on IO. Musa is in the YouTube chat here, and Musa is asking about Chainlink. All right, thank you for the request. That's probably going to be the next one I look at. And then Ann wants to look at Zcash. All right, so we're going to look at Chainlink, and then we'll take a look at Zcash. I think that's what we got for requests for now. Thank you guys for the request. Don't forget to hit the like button, especially if I'm analyzing your coins, right? The least you can do is show some support and hit that like button. For my TikTok guys, all you gotta do is double tap the screen. All right. Going to take a look at Chainlink. I think Chainlink should be one of the assets here on my watch list. It is. Chainlink currently trading at $14.37. It's down 1.8% today. Look at the daily time frame here. So I have said that, you know, Chainlink, when it gets up to like 1445 is an area that you should consider selling some of your Chainlink, because that is your 0.236 retracement hanging out at that level there. Okay. If Chainlink is going to continue being bullish, we want to see it move right back up to the 0.382 level at $17.02. This is a Fibonacci that I drew from like the lows here at like $10.31 all the way up to the highs here at $27. This is where we saw Chainlink at back on in August. Okay, and these are the Fibonacci levels that you get using the Fibonacci indicator. So I think, you know, if Chainlink is going to continue being bullish, you might want to offload some Chainlink at 17 bucks here. And then of course, if you go a little bit higher than that, you do got the 200-day moving average sitting at 1779. That might be a problem area for Chainlink, because I think this 50-day moving average is now starting to drop down like a rock here. In the next few days, if Chainlink goes up to higher prices, this 50-day moving average is still dropping like a rock, and it might kind of line up where that 200-day moving average is at, and you'll probably end up getting the infamous and notorious death cross, and some people might want to sell their Chainlink when they see that happening here. Okay, so yeah, I think when Chainlink gets up to $17, you should consider clicking the sell button, because there's going to be some people looking at that death cross and also looking at Chainlink at the 200-day moving average, and they might want to just sell when it actually gets up to that 200-day moving average at $17.79 here. Thank you, Moash, for I'm not sure how to say your name, but thank you for subscribing here on YouTube. Appreciate that. And you're from Abu Dhabi. That's interesting. How do you pronounce your name? It says Musa. Is that how you say it? Musa? If you want to just put that in the chat, how do you pronounce it? I don't want to like butcher up your name. I can just call you M for now. But yeah. Hopefully I'm saying it right. All right. So yeah, Chainlink on the upside, like I said, $17 is where you should think about selling if it does get back up to that level. And then of course, you know, the lows, we did see like kind of like a double bottom here around $12.07. I would consider maybe putting a stop loss at like a right below $12 on well, we got down like $11.74 and $11.59, so maybe put a stop loss at like $11.25, so you don't lose too much on your chain link here. But if chain link actually loses like $11.50, $11.60 here, and you get stopped out at $11.25, you're gonna save yourself from a whole lot of pain here, because I just don't know how much lower chain link could go. I mean, the lows going back to like last year, we saw chain link at like $9. Do you really want to stomach that much pain? And then of course we saw chain link as low as like $6 in August of like 2023. So I probably put the stop loss for chain link at like $11.25. Not financial advice, but just to prevent myself from losing more money on chain link, that's where I would put the stop loss. Alright, moving on from chain link, we'll take a look at Zcash. Should be in one of my on the watch list here. Zcash currently trading at $361, up 6.7%. That's me. Oh man. Zcash obviously was the talk of the town back here in September and October, especially around October. And then here in November, Zcash kind of did like a double top here, where it got up to like 754 on November 7th, and then got up to like 744 on November 15th, and then that was it. You know, for those who were able to identify the double top, that was a good place to take profits on your Zcash. And if you're shorting Zcash, that was actually a good area to short Zcash. And since then, we've been making lower highs here and lower lows. And Zcash, it's still bullish, believe it or not, because you're above the moving averages here. You're above the 200, the 100, and the 50-day. After being extremely bullish back in November, where you were above the 21 EMA as well, and using that as support and launching up to higher prices here. But you lost the 21 EMA towards the end of November, and now you came down, and it looks like you're getting some support off the 50-day, or you're front running the 50-day. You haven't really touched it. Looks like some people are stepping in and trying to front run it. Okay. But yeah, if Zcash was to go down to lower prices here, you do have the 50-day moving average at 266, could act as support. Okay, that's about $100 cheaper than where it is right now. So you would think like Zcash should start catching some bids if it drops down $100 from where it is right now. Let me turn on the VRVP indicator, see what the VRVP indicator has to say. And this is the green and red indicator off on the right. You do have a high volume node here. We're already at a high volume node between 370 and 325 is where Zcash was cashing some bids here, and you had a value area low. I remember someone in my Discord was asking, I think it was Cameron. Cameron was asking about how much lower could Zcash go, and I was saying yesterday, and I think I said this the day before. I said, you know, Zcash doesn't get a bounce where it is right now. Okay. At that 320, 330 level, then it could come down to this value area low at 280, and then of course you had the 50-day moving average was sitting at around like 260, but also here on the VRVP indicator you had some volume here at like 260. So I was saying like if we can't hold 320, 330 on Zcash, then we're probably gonna go down to like 260, 280 was like the zone that I was looking for Zcash. But it looks like we don't have to worry about that just yet. Looks like Zcash is starting to curve back up to the upside here. I want to do a more deeper dive here on Zcash. Let's see what the oscillators are doing here. Oscillators, what do we got here on the RSI? So we were kind of getting close to oversold here on Tuesday. We saw RSI as low as 34 on the RSI for Zcash. And then here on the MACD, we had selling pressure is starting to die off a little bit. We need to see selling pressure continue to die off, and then maybe we might get a bounce up to higher prices here for Zcash. And then here on Market Cipher B, obviously November was good, but back here in November, like November 20th, you had that red sell dot at the overbought, these overbought horizontal bars here, these red horizontal bars, and that was your indication and warning that there was going to be a few bad days, and ended up being a couple of bad weeks after that for Zcash. Okay, and then momentum went down, and then the money flow was in the green, started going into the red around November 24th, and then of course money flow has been in the red since then. For us to become bullish again on Zcash, you want to see money flow start curving back up. You want to see the momentum wave start curving back up. Right now we're kind of going horizontal, so there's potential that Zcash might be bottoming out here. You're waiting for basically a green buy dot like you saw here on November 19th to help justify that this thing might be done going down, and we might see a few good days ahead of us where Zcash actually starts going up to higher prices. But you haven't had that green buy dot yet on the daily time frame, so just keep that in mind. All right. But yeah, Zcash, you know, for those who are high-risk traders and investors, you might have been bottoming out here the last couple of days here on Zcash. And if it is going to go up to higher prices here, then on the VRVP indicator, you do have some high volume here at 459, about almost like $100 from where we are right now, is where you could sell your Zcash. And then you got the point of control, this blue line sitting at $499, $500. I think $500 is now a psychological target, as well as a target here on the VRVP indicator for you to consider offloading your Zcash, because you just don't know if Zcash is ever going to get back up to like 700, 740 bucks all over again. Okay, I think 500 is a safe target for you to offload your Zcash bags. You know, $500 is going to be tough to get past. If we are going to go past it, you know, it's probably going to act as resistance. We might go sideways at $500 before we then go up to higher prices. What is Lorraine saying here? I think I might be getting a little bit sick here, guys. Oh man. Excuse me for a moment. Oh man, you know, when you travel for the holidays and you're interacting with so many people for like Thanksgiving dinner, there's always like somebody that ends up getting you sick, right? So, and if you didn't get sick, that probably means you were already sick and you got somebody else sick. But no, it's just a little bit of snivels here. I think I'll be alright. I'll be alright to do probably another live stream tomorrow as well, around this time. Lorraine says you're all sick as well. Back at your place. Yeah, man flu. Yeah, the man flu. All right, we kind of went through all the requests here, guys. You guys have any more any requests to look at? Let's take a look at crypto bubbles to see what the cryptocurrencies are doing all right today. Looks like we got some red out there. Aerodrome up 6% today. It's catching some bids, and Ultima catching some bids today. CRV not too shabby at up 4.2% today. Some of the notable losers here is CC, Canton Network down 8.8%, Fetch AI down 4%, Stark down 5.1%, and Shiba Inu down 5.1%. I'm pretty sure there's probably some other ones that are doing bad, but these are some of the top 100 coins here and what they've done today. For the week, who's having a good week this week? Ultima's having a good week, up 68% this week. Then you got MEXC Mix Finance is up 29% for the week, and then Maker up 16%. Telcoin up 15.4%. Notable losers for the week is Zcash, believe it or not. We just looked at Zcash. And then Dash down 22%. Aptos down 14.5%. Okay. We had some unemployment claims that came out earlier today, this morning. Looks like here in the United States, they were expecting the unemployment claims to come in at 219,000. It was actually 191,000. So maybe the jobs market isn't doing so bad. Okay, but we did have a bad jobs report yesterday from ADP, and that was taking into account all the jobs that were lost last month. So some conflicting data out there, but I still think we'll get an interest rate cut going into next week, and then maybe an interest rate cut going into January. Let's see how gold's doing, the price of gold and silver, because I know gold has been doing pretty well, and so silver, oh my god, it's at like $57. Gold here at $4,200, up 11 bucks, up 0.27%. And gold was in this symmetrical triangle that I charted out here. And it looks like it's breaking out to the upside out of that symmetrical triangle on the daily time frame. So looks like gold might still continue going up to the upside here on us. And I have done a Fibonacci, and if it does go up, I think some people are targeting like $4,600, $4,800. I'm looking at according to the Fibonacci, I'm looking at the 1272 that we could see gold get up to like $4,674 as a new all-time high. And then there's a 1618 at $5,000 gold. That could come into play going into like probably next year. I don't think gold's going to go up to $5,000 this month, but maybe in 2026 you might see $5,000 gold. And let's look at the oscillators here real quick for gold on market cipher B. Money is still going in on the money flow, and you get that green buy dot here on November 24th. So there's probably more money going in the gold. And then here on the MACD, you do have buying pressure, but buying pressure is actually dying off a little bit. Don't know why that's the case. I thought things were all systems go for higher prices here on gold, but maybe not, according to the MACD here. But yeah, gold is extremely bullish because you're above the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and you're also above that white line. You're above the 21 exponential moving average. So gold, extremely bullish, and I'm pretty sure if you have some friends who are in gold, they're pretty much telling you to go buy gold because they're doing so well with it. And then here on silver currently trading at $56.95. I haven't looked at silver in a long time, for a while here, but like, what have I done here? What is going on? What is this blue line doing here? I'm gonna get rid of that for now. Maybe that was a mistake that I drew. But silver also extremely bullish, above the 200-day, 150, and above the 21 EMA. Silver needs to go back down like $52 in order for it to revisit the 21 EMA. But I don't think silver's ever been this high. At least not in the last 10, 20 years. Let me look at the monthly chart. From the data that I got, silver is at all-time highs. Yeah, we saw silver as high as like $49 on back in 2011, and we saw it get as high as like $48 back in 1980, before I was even born. So we're at like multi-decade highs for silver. And I mean, I'll try to draw a Fibonacci to figure out how much higher it could go here. You see, we topped out at $58.97, basically like $59. And I'll bring this down to like the lows here, and I'll bring it down to like the lows here in 2025, where we saw, actually back here in August 2024, we saw silver as low as like $26.44. So it is already did a double past year. There's a 1272 that says that gold could get up to like $67.67, and then there's a 1618 that says we could see $78 gold. I mean $78 an ounce silver. So So $67 and $78 might be some targets to look for silver here. Wow. But how healthy of a move is this? Are we overbought on the RSI? Yeah, we are. So silver is overbought here at 85 on the RSI. It's been overbought ever since July, at least on the monthly time frame. Let me see if how it looks like on the daily time frame here. On the daily time frame, let me just zoom in here. On the daily time frame, we did get overbought last couple of days here at like 74 on the RSI, but we're now down to 67. So anytime you're above 70, you're overbought. Right now, silver is not overbought, but it could go back to being overbought if we catch more bids again and go up to like 60 bucks an ounce on silver. Wow, I can't even imagine saying that for a number here for silver. And then here on the MACD, buying pressure is starting to come down a little bit. At least today it is. But I really wouldn't worry until you see this blue line start curving down and go down below the orange line, like you saw back here in October 20th. Earlier this year, you saw the blue line dip below the orange line, and then yeah, you got your selling pressure towards the end of October, beginning of November. And when that happened, when that dip came in, you saw that happen, and it brought the price down from silver from like $54 all the way down to like $45. So I don't think you have to worry about that just yet, because buying pressure could always start increasing again on the MACD for silver. But it is cause for concern that the buying pressure is not as strong as it was, you know, earlier this week and last week. And then market cipher B, what do we got on market cipher B? Ooh, this could be a cause for concern on silver. You got a red sell dot that came in right above the overbought red horizontal bars here on market cipher B. Could mean that this is a good time to take profit on silver and maybe possibly enter a short. Okay. However, you can see like back here when silver was just going nuts in September and October, you did have red sell dots, and then like a couple of days later, you get a green buy dot. So you just don't know if you might get a little bit of a fake out and this thing could just continue to go up to higher prices on you. Okay, but red sell dot, it is something to worry about, because you know last time we had a red sell dot and it was above the overbought RSI horizontal bars here. It did cause you to drop down here towards the end of October, going into November. I see Lauren A is in the chat. Good to see you, Lauren A. Thank you for making it. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't done so already. But yeah, silver, maybe this is just another higher high, but then we got to drop down. Probably if we do drop down to lower prices on silver, we'll come down to that 21 EMA at $52, make another higher low, and then launch up to higher prices again for silver. That 21 EMA is also confluent with the 786 retracement here at $52. So we could see $52. We could see silver drop basically down 10% before we see it make a higher low here. Tupac Del Fuego says gold could go up in the next weeks. And he says good analysis here. Thank you, Tupac, for those kind remarks and thoughts. Laureen, what is Laureen saying? Saying, is Ultima new? I don't know. Let's take a look at Ultima and see how new it is. It's new to me. I don't think I've heard of Ultima. On the daily time frame, oh wow, this thing is a $5,000 cryptocurrency. it's at a higher price than Ethereum. Looks like this thing has been around on MEXC exchange since October of 2023. How come I really haven't heard many people talk about it? I feel like I would have heard someone talk about this or make a request for it especially in like February of 2025 when this thing was trading at 22,000. 22,700 here for Ultima. And now we're trading at 5,185. Looks like Ultima is going to have some problems with this 200-day moving average, which already had problems back here on November 29th. But is Ultima actually catching the? Is it trying to bottom out here? Trying to see if there's any bullish divergence. I don't see bullish divergence. But wow, yeah, the RSI did get overbought here on November 29th here. I don't see bullish divergence. Looks like the lowest low for the year came in on November 25th. We saw this thing at $2,800. Wow. So is that like almost like that's almost like a double. This thing got as low as 2,800, and then it got as high as 6,450. Yeah, that's definitely a double. So it did double in price earlier this week, going into like last week. It went up like 125% there. Hello for real, and hello Mario. How you guys doing? Thank you, Prince, for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. I'm gonna try to make a TikTok about Big Bear AI, because that's looks like it's a stock worth paying attention to here. Oh, thank you for the heart there, Mario. And thank you, Cameron, for hitting that like button. We're at like 15,000 likes here on TikTok. Appreciate that. But yeah, guys, I think that's gonna be it for this live stream. We haven't really had. We went through all the requests. You guys did keep me pretty busy here today. Let's try to finish up here on Bitcoin and figure out where Bitcoin can go next, right? Bitcoin currently at 92,450. I'll give you the summary on my thoughts here. I want Bitcoin to stay above this 21 EMA, this white line at 90,300. You could use that as support, but don't lose it, because if you lose it, then the downtrend is still intact, and this is going to end up being another lower high here for Bitcoin, where we only saw Bitcoin go up to like $94,000 before we end up going back down again here. Okay. But if this is not going to be a lower high and we are climbing up to higher prices, I do expect some resistance, and it's going to be significant resistance at 96K, that red number right there. And then I'm expecting some more resistance for Bitcoin at $102,000, $105,000 if we actually get up to those prices there. I think by that point we might actually be fighting up against the 50-day moving average. This green line, 50-day simple moving average, could act as resistance for Bitcoin if it does decide to climb back up to those prices. And I know for myself, I'm trying to offload some cryptocurrencies and some Bitcoin. If Bitcoin gets up to 96K, I'm going to try to offload some more. And if Bitcoin gets up to like 102, 105K, I'm going to try to offload some more. And I'm okay with that, because if Bitcoin does continue going up to higher prices and we see it get above that 200-day moving average at 109K, I can always get back in again, right? It's okay to sell and then buy back in again. You can do that. That is something that you can do here. But we just don't know if this is the beginning of a bear market here for Bitcoin. And it would be nice if 102, 105K is the last time we see Bitcoin at 105K for a while here. I want to be able to sell some of my Bitcoin at 105K. So that's why I got it marked off on the chart here. And the reason why I got it marked off on the chart here is because if I zoom out and I turn on that VRVP indicator here, which I'm going to do right now, it's going to show you there are high volume nodes there. There's a high volume node here at 96K, and there's another high volume node here at 105K. Okay, so those are the areas that I'm targeting to the upside here for Bitcoin. Okay, to offload and dollar cost average out. DZ, you showed up late in the chat. I was about to end the live stream, and now you're putting in the request here for Monad. Hey, okay. Well, I'll do that for you, DZ, because I know you come here a lot, and I appreciate your support. So we'll look at Monad, and then that's it. That's it for today, guys. But I just finished up my thoughts there on Bitcoin. We'll take a look at Monad for DZ, and then I'm out. And then you guys are just gonna have to look at me and follow me, subscribe to my channel. But you'll have to wait for like the next live stream tomorrow for me to do a live analysis on your cryptocurrencies and stocks. But if you can't wait, you can always go onto the Meet Damien Discord channel. Links in the description to this video. For my TikTok guys, you can find the link in my TikTok bio, where you can join the Meet Damien Discord. Right, that's that link right there. And in the Discord, it's free to join. You can go in there and ask me about your favorite stock or crypto, and I'll try to like analyze it as best as I can using some screenshots. Right. But anyways, let me analyze Monad for DZ here. We're looking at Monad currently trading at just under 3 pennies, 0.029 pennies, down 4%. And Monad doesn't have that much data to go off of. Started trading on November 24th here on Coinbase exchange. Could I find it on another cryptocurrency exchange that might have more data? Maybe I could find it here on Binance. Maybe. Okay, yeah, I have looked at this thing. And here on Binance, it looks like it started trading on Binance in October. So what, 2 months ago, roughly? And there's really not much data still. But using this chart on Binance, you can see that I identify that we're in a falling or descending parallel channel here. And right now you're near the heart line, the middle of the channel. So you're in like no man's land. This thing could drop down, and if it does drop down, it could go down as low as the bottom of this channel at like a penny and a half. You could lose 50%, or if you're short selling it, you could make 50%. If you're short selling it. But even if you were to start coming down, there is a value area low, this white line at roughly 0.022 pennies. And I would expect a little bit of a fight there. But if you can't hold, 2 pennies, 0.022 pennies, then you probably come down to like a penny and a half. The way this thing has been trending down to the downside here. However, if we're not going to go down, and we're actually going to start going up, you are at the point of control here, and there's not that much resistance going up. Once you get past 3 pennies, until you get up to like 0.037 pennies. There's a little bit of volume here, and that's actually where that 21 EMA is at. So the 21 EMA on the daily time frame could act as resistance at 0.036, 0.037. If you're able to make it past that level, then we're now talking about maybe getting rejected at 4 pennies here, where that value area high is sitting at, and also just if we're going to stay in this descending channel here. All right, 4 pennies is probably where other people are going to click the sell button, and there'll probably be some resistance there. All right, so that's what you got for Monad there. If you want to, you can always watch this video again, and you'll see the targets that I gave you to the upside right now. To the upside, get past 3 pennies, and you could probably get up to like 0.036 pennies, 3.5 pennies roughly. And then get past that, then basically you're gonna go up to 4 pennies, and then you'll probably get rejected there. All right, DZ, I hope that helps you out with your planning and analysis on Monad. And then we got Red the film set series is asking about Tau. You said you're taking a short on Tau. What do I think about that? Ugh. I was just about to end the live stream, and then of course you guys got the last minute request here. Alright, I'll make it real quick. You said you're doing a short on Tau. You didn't give me your entry or your stop loss or your take profit. But I'll look at it real quick here, and I'll try to look at it on the 1 hour and the 15-minute time frame. since it seems like you're a day trader and you're day trading it. All right. So on the daily time frame, bit sensor Tau currently at 296, and I'm not sure why you want to short it unless you're still bearish on this thing. But if you get past the point of control here at 306, this thing's gonna rocket up to higher prices and probably go up to that 50-day moving average sitting at 349. All right, but let's get into the 1 hour time frame, because you did say you're in a short, and it probably sounds like you're day trading it. Tau has come up to like $311 here. Was a 0.382 retracement. On the 1 hour time frame, you are now below the 21 EMA. However, it looks like this thing has been making higher lows, and higher highs here. You're kind of fighting an uptrend here on Tau. Okay. Tau could also get some support off the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame, sitting at 291, and it could also get some support here at $286, where the value area high is sitting at on the 1 hour time frame. Okay. But yeah, you are above the value area high, so you know most people did buy Tau recently at lower prices, and you're not going to get much support for Tau until you come down to that point of control here at 265. So maybe that's where you have your take profit target at, is 265. At least that's where I would be setting it at. I would take a little bit of partial profit on the 1 hour time frame. I would take a little bit of partial profit on the short if it does get down to 281. You have the 50 moving average that could provide support there, and then you also got a high volume node here on the VRVP indicator at 280. So if you are shorting Tau, I would take a little bit of profit here, and then take the rest of the profit at 265. And let's see what it looks like on the 15-minute time frame. 15-minute time frame. You are. Let me get rid of the VRV indicator. I don't need that for now. But you are above the moving averages here, except for the 50. You did lose that just recently here. And I'm not sure what your take profit target is, but I did say, you know, maybe 280, and then 265 should be where you should take profit on your short. And for your stop loss, you didn't tell me your stop loss either, but maybe put your stop loss near the highs for the day, where this thing was as high as 317. So I'd probably put that as a conservative stop loss. But on the 15-minute time frame, you could put the stop loss below these candle wick highs here at like 302. So maybe you put it at 305 for a stop loss. And let's see what the oscillators are looking like. RSI is coming down. You're going to need that to come down in order for you to see your short play out. On the MACD, on the 15-minute time frame, selling pressure has died down. Buying pressure was coming in about earlier towards the late morning hours here. Then you got a little bit of selling pressure and then buying pressure. So this is kind of like, it's weak sauce. We're not sure what it's gonna do here, but you want to see more red candles here on the 15-minute time frame for your short to play out here. And then here on market cipher B, money flow was coming out earlier this morning, and you got a little bit of money flow coming in towards the end of the morning here, but now money flow is going back into the negative, back into the red. And you did get a red sell dot, so that could be your saving grace to see, you know, Tau go to lower prices here. You want to see money flow continue to decrease here, go into even deeper red, and then you want to see the momentum wave, this blue wave, start going down to like the oversold conditions here, where you got the these green horizontal bars. That's the oversold on the RSI here on this market cipher B indicator. And when it does get to oversold, that's probably when you want to take profit on your short. Okay, not financial advice, but that's what I would do. And you're welcome, DZ, on the TA. And let's see. Red Film Set Series says his take profits at 291. Okay, so you're almost there. And you got in at 297. Okay. All right, so it's like kind of like a small scalp is what you're doing. All right. And yeah, your take profits at 291, so that's not too bad. Yeah, yep, Laureen, we got to 20,000 likes. Probably the majority of those likes came from you, so I appreciate that, Laureen. Thank you. And yep, that's gonna be it for this live stream here, guys. For those who want to continue the conversation and ask me about, you know, whatever cryptocurrencies or stocks you want to look at, you can find me on the Meet Damien Discord. I already put the link. I already showed you the link. The link is in the description to the channel. But for my TikTok, I mean for my YouTube guys, let me go ahead and show you what the Meet Damien Discord looks like here. So this is what the Meet Damien Discord channel looks like. You'll see when I go live. I'll post up when I'm going live, and I'll post up the link here. And then, of course, you know, we have some people here, some good traders talking about various cryptos and stocks, giving their own analysis on their cryptocurrencies. And yeah. And then we also have a place to show for the day traders here that are doing pretty well and posting up their gains. I do have like a show your gains, and we got Cameron over here, you know, 75x long, up 260%. On Farcoin, he's up 661%. So we have some pretty good traders here sharing their gains, their ideas, their investments. Let's go over here. Look at that, up 199% on his 25x long on Hype. And then, of course, for the trade setups, for those who are looking for setups here, I do talk about various coins that I think might play out to the upside or the downside if we're looking for shorts. And this is where we can talk about, you know, what the next trade setup might be for the trades that you're interested in sharing, right? Because that's what we're trying to do, guys. We're trying to make all of us better traders and investors here, and we're trying to share some ideas, share some coins, and you can do that here on the Meet Damien Discord and come join the community here, okay? But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for today. Let's plan on seeing each other tomorrow, same time, 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern time. Take care, guys, and good luck trading and investing in whatever asset you decide to get yourself into. Take care, guys.